Hi guys, your Guitar Goomba Lucky here again. Today we're going to continue the finishing on our giveaway guitar Telecaster build. As you can see, I've done some sanding and I decided not to apply any more finish because I like the way it came out. Now, if you look here, as you'll see, I've put tape inside the electronics cutouts and in the neck pocket. The reason I did that is because when we spray our lacquer on, I don't want it getting in there because I have something different planned for that, and I'll show you that when we get to that point. So for now, let's get started on our lacquer. Now if you notice here, I took a teacup hook and I screwed it into the hole where the bottom strap button goes. That way I can hang the guitar like such. Okay, as you can see, I've hung my guitar by that teacup hook that I put on the back. Now you want to make sure that your lacquer is shaken up quite well. Then you want to hold the can about 12 inches away from the surface that you're going to be spraying. And you want to apply several light misting type coats using about a 50% overlap. And of course, you want to do this in a well-ventilated area. And don't forget to use appropriate safety gear for the conditions that you are spraying in. Okay. Now, you'll notice that we have some fuzzies on the guitar. Well, for the time being, those are just going to get bedded in, and we will sand them off afterward, because if we try to take care of them now, they will cause all kinds of issues with our finish. Especially with the front. Now I do want to spray a little heavier on the sides because of that side and end grain. That is going to suck up a lot of finish. And as you can see, it's looking pretty decent already. Now the thing about this particular varnish, this particular lacquer, is you have a 30-minute recoat time, meaning that after you spray your first bits, you can recoat in 30 minutes. Now, this front is going to take a lot, and I mean a lot of lacquer to fill in all of these pores and everything. So, what I will do is, and this lacquer says it dries the tack in 5-ish minutes. So what I'll do, in fact it's so hot out here right now that I can actually rub it right now in just this little bit of time, and I can pick these threads out. All right guys, we've had some time to let this set up. Got a couple good coats on it. Hopefully you can see how the shine is turning out. So people ask, what is the difference between lacquer and a standard clear? Well, a standard clear coat is usually a urethane or an acrylic, whereas lacquer is, well, lacquer. So you have to ask yourself, which one is better? Well, it depends on what you're doing. And yes, as I said before, make sure to wear all proper safety equipment when spraying anything, really, because this stuff is not good for you. And you do not want to destroy your lungs. They're the only ones you have. And I suppose you could get a lung transplant at some point, if you could afford it, and if you could find one. But, again, this is a do as I say, not as I do type situation, because if I put on breathing apparatus, then you wouldn't be able to hear me. And I would have to do a voiceover, which, you know, it's not terrible, but rather not. I especially want to get heavy, heavy coats on my face here, because I'm trying to fill in that grain. Now, personally, I think that the finish that it has on it when this dries up is probably good enough. Now, this is what I was trying to get right here. You see this like milkiness? That's called hazing. And generally you get that when the humidity's too high, and I'm in Southeast Louisiana just outside New Orleans, so the humidity is always too high. But when you let it set, you see some milkiness right there, got hazing around there, and that's all fine because this will dry out. When this dries, all of that will go away and it will be clear. So you guys let me know, what do you think? Should I go for a really slick, smooth, high gloss finish? Or should I leave the grain to where you can feel it and have it be, well, more rustic looking, less super high gloss, more of a kind of a satin finish, you know, or even a little bit of a semi-gloss on the back. Now, one of the things I did before this was I sanded back the stain. Now, there are very few things in life that are more boring than sanding. One of the things that is more boring than sanding is watching somebody else sand. It is horrible. So I decided not to subject you folks to that. So I sanded all of this off camera, and while I was doing it, I did a little bit of distressing or aging at the points where your body will be in contact with the guitar, and you will get some natural breakthrough in the finish at those points anyway. And I wanted it to feel more kind of road worn, you know, more well used and loved. So that's going to do it for this. I'm going to let this cure up for a couple of days. Check out the comments, see if you guys want me to sand it back and keep filling until I get a just completely smooth finish, or if you like the texture of it a little bit. Because personally, I kind of like the texture of the grain in this top, because I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but the grain had, you know, you can see where the grain is, and if you were here looking at it how I'm looking at it, you have a little bit of texture from it, and I kind of like that. But I want to know what you guys think. I think the texture would be good with leather, and with what I'm planning on doing for the rest of it. So, comment below. All right, guys, to win the guitar, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment below. Complete rules for the giveaway are in the description of the video. So, read them, love them, enter often. Remember, you can get 1 entry per video that you comment on. That's per video of the build series. So, subscribe to the channel, watch the first video if you haven't already, watch the last video if you haven't already. Till next time, this is Lucky, your Guitar Goomba, saying keep rocking.